National Broadcasting Company. Now it is 7 decades of bringing in baseball's memories. Baseball's milestones. Baseball's majesty. And baseball's magical moments. NBC Sports proudly presents the Major League Baseball Game of the Week. Today from Fenway Park, it's the Oakland Athletics versus the Boston Red Sox. The Game of the Week is brought to you by Buick and your Buick dealer. The Great American Road belongs to Buick. By Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers. And by Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better than Mr. Goodwrench. No one. Hi, everybody.
All right, everybody. We're trying this Statis Pro thing. It's a new one for me to do this. The setup on this was a little bit interesting to try to get my normal setup that I like to have and fit everything, because the thing that's different about Statis Pro is the board is part of the game. So to try to fit everything I could as possibly best I could, and also fit the little lineups and stuff like I prefer to do, sometimes a little bit of a challenge, but we'll sally forth and see what we can do. Hello, BBBB. Don't know about puns, but hopefully it's a good game. I don't know, though. The matchup's not that great, although in real life it was a 4-3 Boston win, so maybe we can get that going. I don't know. Hello, John. How are you doing? Happy Saturday to you. Mr. Replay Gamer, hello. How are you? Hope you're enjoying your Saturday wherever you are. It's actually in the afternoon here. Obviously, it's a little after 12 on the East Coast, but of course, where everybody else is, we're probably talking about in the morning. All right, let's see if I can, like I said, the Statis Pro thing, trying to fit all this stuff on camera, and I'm looking on my computer. It looks like, for some reason, the board looks like it's tilted, and I have no idea why. Let's see if I can move this around so it doesn't look like we're tilting everywhere. Redo my little line score here. All right, so we'll see if that helps. I don't know. It looked like it was kind of tilted there at first, so I'll have to see how it goes. Hey, SDG, good to see you. I actually mowed the lawn yesterday after work, as it stays daylight till what, like almost 8 o'clock. So I got that out of the way so I could clear up my Saturday morning and not be having to deal with that. Hopefully everything shows up okay. I had the lamp on, but it was causing a kind of a glare. So hopefully it's not too dark. I'm looking on my computer screen, and the lighting seems to be okay. At least on my computer. I can't tell, obviously what's going on with everybody else's, but it looks like it's, at least tolerable. This is the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox. The game was played May the 3rd, 1986. Of course, today being April 30th, 2022. But this is the closest I could get to keep in line with what we were doing. On the replay, Oakland is 12-10 and Boston is 11-9. Although, like I said, it's not really a 1986 replay per se. I'm just kind of doing that to go along with the flow. Really, this project, or this little thing here, much like last year's 1982 version on Stratomatic, is just to kind of give people the feeling of memory of going back in time for the NBC Game of the Week. Hello, Brad. How are you doing? This is Statis Pro. Let me get my old beat-up box. This is Statis Pro. And this is the original version. This is not the advanced that you've seen some people play online. I know Kurt Bergelin's doing some of the advanced. Some people do it with a dice alternative. This is bare bones, back to, about as bare as you're going to get. Fast action cards. All the cards are in basic setup. So it's pretty much, like I said, bare bones as far as you can go. Anybody that hasn't played Status Pro before, it's a fairly intuitive game to learn, but I'll go slow the first half inning just to kind of give the new people a chance to see how it's played. I believe there's probably a couple of how-to videos out there on YouTube somewhere, but we'll go ahead and go with it. This is the score sheet that I have printed off, and I've got the OBR ratings for the runner, for each of the players, and their error ratings and throw ratings. So I'll be able to do those on the side. You can see I've got the lineup with the bench for both teams, also the available bullpen arms for both teams. Now, you know me, if you know me at all, and you know my replays at all, and my likes and dislikes, you know I love lefty-righty splits. However, Status Pro is, everything is in basic, but there is a slight difference. Let me move the bullpen guys out of the way for a little bit. There are factors here, variable factors for lefty-righties. So if you have a left-hander on the mound, which in this case we have two righties starting, so but bullpen guys are lefties. So if a left-hander is on the mound and a left-hander is at the plate, and 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 would normally be hits, but they're all going to be outs. 87 and 88, that would normally be outs for right-handed hitters, would turn into base hits. Same thing happens when the right-hander is on the mound. When you got a lefty batting, the 87 and 88, that would normally be outs, turn into hits. And when a right-hander is facing a right-hander, the 11 and 12, which would normally be hits, turn into a strikeout and a foul out to the catcher. So those are the only left-right factors that we have. Some people call it a 50-50 game, although it's not necessarily a 50-50 game. But there is a PB rating for each of the pitchers. The higher the PB rating, the more control the pitcher has of the at-bat. In this case, Chris Cotaroli is a 2.7, which is, it's pretty good. But Mike Brown's only a 2.5. I believe that's the lowest you can have is 2.5. So when you flip a fast action card and you get a PB number, which is a random number between, I believe it's 2 and 12, if it falls within this PB range, then the pitcher controls the at-bat. If it exceeds this PB range, then the batter go off the batter card and he controls the at-bats. That's kind of where the 50-50 thing is coming from. So that's why some people call it a 50-50. But again, Cotaroli has a better chance of controlling the at-bat than Brown does because he has a 2.7 versus a 2.5. For pitcher fatigue, very easy system to figure out. There is an SR, or starting rating, for each pitcher that's assigned. Mike Brown's a 16. Chris Cotaroli is a 15. So I've got Pond set up at 16 and 15. As they give up a hit, a walk, a run, I believe a hit by pitch, things like that, we will reduce each time that happens. And when you get to a zero, if you get to the zero, the pitcher is fatigued. In this game, when the pitcher is fatigued, you ignore the pitcher card altogether and all at-bats come off the batter card. So certainly advantageous to take a pitcher out if he is fatigued. Hello, Captain Carl. How are you doing? Nice to see you here. Robert, I'm sure Status Pro Advanced is even better, but I just decided to do the basic version. I don't have the advanced version. The only thing I have that's advanced is I do have some season cards that have left-right splits on them, but that's it. I'm still more used to playing the basic or advanced version, or basic version, I should say, or original version, whatever you want to call it. We are at Fenway Park, but in Status Pro, there are no ballpark effects to worry about. And the board has a lot of things on it. There's a stolen base chart up in here, sacrifice chart here, base running advancement chart here based on the base running rating of the runner and the throw rating of the outfielder and which outfield it went to, which, where the runner's trying to get and where the outfielder is. So hopefully that's enough preamble to get us going. Like I said, it was a challenge for me to figure out. I had to really, I'd spent about 10, 15 minutes to try to get this where I wanted it so that I could make everything fit. Hello, Tim. How you doing? Former Tribe fan, Cleveland fan. All right, so I think we're ready to go. And like I said, for the people who have not seen this game played, I will go slow the first half inning just to so you can see what's going on and you're not completely in the dark as to what's going on. As I said, Boston won this game in real life 4-3. So even though the pitching's not that great, hopefully we can get a decent game out of this. All right. I'm not really worried about seeds and stats in the replay on the Strat computer, so I'm not even going to worry about consulting that. I'm just going to go ahead and play. All right. Boston pitcher is here. Oakland pitcher is here. Oakland batting order here. Boston batting order is here. And as you can see, we've got it here also on the paper. All right, so the process is the first at bat, or to start things off, you flip a fast action card. We take it and we flip it. And once you flip it, you look at the PB rating, and that's going to tell you who controls the at bat. For Mike Brown, if the PB is a 5 or less, he controls the at bat. If it's higher than 5, then the batter controls the at bat. And then the second check is on a random number, and the random number we look on the random number under either the pitcher card or the batter card and find out what happened. And then if there's an out, we go to an out sequence flip to get that. So if it's not a strikeout, you're probably looking at 3 flips to get the result. You can get in a rhythm flipping these cards when you're used to playing it. And this is the first board game I ever played baseball wise was this. I played this long before I played Strat. I played this back when I was a teenager, and I didn't play Strat until about 7 years ago. So at least on the board game, I played Strat computer long before that, but I didn't get into the Strat cards and board game until 2015 for the 14 season. All right, so I think we're ready to go. Appreciate everybody spending part of your Saturday afternoon / morning with me here on the NBC Game of the Week. Next week, we go back to Inside Pitch. We go full circle. We're doing 4 game engines to do this NBC Game of the Week: Inside Pitch, Payoff Pitch, Stratomatic, and Status Pro. And week 5, we go back to Inside Pitch, go to Wrigley Field for the Padres and the Cubs, Lamar Hoyt versus Dennis Eckersley. But that's next week, and that will be on Inside Pitch here at Status Pro. So hopefully I haven't forgotten too much how to play Status Pro. I do have the rule book here if I need it. And I've got these charts that tell you about runner advancement as you go along. So, and out charts and so forth. So I'll reference those when needed as well. The other thing to do is every 3 innings, you shuffle the deck and flip them over. These fast action cards are 2-sided, and you can see them on front and back, or upside down, or whatever you call it. So after 3 innings, I will shuffle these and flip them over to try to get more randomness in there as much as possible. I think everything is showing up pretty good, so only thing left to do is play the game. How about that? You didn't come here to listen to me ramble. You came here to watch the game, hopefully, and chat. So let's get it going. And somebody say, let's get it on. I don't want to go that far, but anyway, I'll try to stay away from the puns as best as possible. All right, here we go. Mike Brown against Tony Phillips, switch hitting second baseman for the Oakland A's. All right, let's do the first flip, and we get a 7. 7 says it's higher than the PB here, so therefore we're going off the batter card, Tony Phillips. And I'll try to hold Phillips's card up closer to the camera. I don't know if you can see it better this way. Maybe if I hold it up this high, you can see the results a little bit better. If I don't twist it around and get you dizzy at the same time. All right, let's go flip the next card. And what we're looking for off this next card is the random number that's going to go off Tony Phillips. So we flip that, and we get a 58. 58 is in the out range, 55 to 88, so we know he has made an out. We just need to know what kind of an out. And to do that, we go to our out chart, which on the fast action cards, this out sequence is what we're looking for. But we need a new fast action card. You don't use this one, you flip a new one. And it's based on what kind of hitter is up there. whether he's a left-handed normal hitter, left-handed power hitter, a switch of the same thing, or a righty of the same thing, or a pitcher. And you get different out results based on who's batting. In this case, Tony Phillips is a switch normal, which means he's a switch hitter with normal power. So we flip that and get the out sequence, and the out sequence for an SN is an F3. So he pops up to first base and Buckner makes the catch. You notice some of these have asterisks and some do not. The ones that have asterisks means it requires an error check, so we would have to flip a fourth card. But in our case, with a switch normal, it's just a pop to first. There is no asterisk, so there's the first out of the ball game as he pops it up to Bill Buckner, who makes the catch, unlike what he did in 1986 in October. But here in May, in 86 in May, he did it. All right, one down. So hopefully that helped a little bit. I don't know. All right, we just go through the same procedure again for the next at bat. Mike Brown, we're seeing if he's got a 2 through 5 on his PB, or if not, it'll go to the other guy. And this is a 10. So 10, obviously higher than 5, means we're going to Dwayne Murphy. So Dwayne Murphy will control the at bat, and we'll get a random number to see what he does. It's a 48. So Dwayne Murphy on a 48, that falls into 46 to 57, which means Dwayne Murphy has just walked. And because he walks, we're going to reduce Mike Brown's starting fatigue rating down by 1 because of that walk. And because Murphy walked, he will go to first base. So Murphy draws the walk. Now, stolen bases, you don't need a jump or anything. You can just decide if you want to try to steal or not. He's an OBR, offensive base running rating, of a B. He's got a speed of a D. There is a stolen base chart up here. Sometimes the stolen base goes by the speed rating. Sometimes it goes by the OBR rating. Sometimes it goes by the catcher throw rating, T rating, whatever you want to call it. Catcher T rating for Sullivan is a TB. Throw rating for catchers are TA, TB, and TC, with obviously TA being better. So with one out and Jose Canseco coming to the plate, I think we're going to, and I don't know why it has a number 7 here. That's kind of weird. Should be left field. It should not be 7. I don't know why it has 7 there. That's really weird. All right, so Jose Canseco is going to come up. So we're going to keep Murphy where he is. We don't want to take the bat out of Canseco's hand. Particularly, he might get the control over Mike Brown. So we flip the next card for Mike Brown. We get a 7, so that means we're under Canseco. So Jose Canseco will have control of this next flip. And let's see what happens on that. It's an 84. So 84 says he is out. And of course, he is a right-handed hitter with power. So his RP, we're going to check the RP on the out sequence. And it says it's a deep fly to left, FD7. Deep fly to left for out number 2. Now, what I will do, I doubt the runner at first can advance, but I'll check the chart just in case. And each of these charts is based on base running situations. So we're looking at man on first, out chart. And FD7 says fly out to deep left field, runner holds, but OBR of A will get to second base. Well, the OBR of Murphy, he's a B, not an A, so he has to hold. So in that case, Murphy could not move up, but he could have if he'd have been an OBR of A, but he did not. So there's 2 away, and that brings up King Kong Dave Kingman, the designated hitter. And let's see, Brown has yet to control in the bat. Can he do it this time? Nope, it's a 9, so we're under Kingman. So I'll bring Kingman up a little closer, hopefully. We'll flip the random number for Kingman. It's a 67. 67 is in his out range. He's right-handed as a power hitter. So we'll see what kind of out we got. And it's an F8, a fly ball to center field, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for Oakland, and they leave Murphy at first base. So after half an inning of play, it's Oakland nothing and Boston coming to bat. So hopefully, for those that have not seen this game, hopefully you've got at least a semi-muddy idea of how this game is played. Trying to think of anything else off the top of my head. Now, they do have something called a clutch rating and a clutch batting rating and a clutch pitcher rating. They're called BD and CD ratings, respectively, and they come up with runners on base. If you draw a BD, if the PB number here says BD or CD, if there's a run on base, you check the situation. If the bases are empty, you ignore it and go on to the next flip of the card. So right now, Chris Codaroli has a 2-7, so he's got a better chance of controlling some of the at-bats. On the Oakland side in the first inning, they controlled everything. The batters controlled everything, but Mike Brown was able to survive. So now we go on. Let's see who the... All right, it's the Bhakti's going to be the next batter, so that's why I want to leave that pawn. So right now we're looking at Dewey Evans. Dwight Evans will lead it off against Chris Codaroli. First, a lot of times I like to pick up multiple of these cards because they're easier than trying to draw them off the stack, so we're going to try that. 2-7 for Codaroli to control. It's an 8, so that means Dwight Evans controls. Dwight Evans. So we'll get a random number for Dwight Evans. It's a 26. So let's look at Dwight Evans, 26. 26, that's a home run. Dwight Evans has led off the ball game with a home run, as that is a 26, and that falls in the 23 to 27 category. That's why it's so important for a pitcher to control the at-bat. Had Codaroli controlled the at-bat, we would have gone here and checked 26, and it would have been a strikeout. But in this case, Dwight Evans gets it, and he goes boom, and the Red Sox lead it 1-0. And we're going to deduct 2 points from Codaroli, 1 for the hit and being the home run, and 1 for the run itself. So it drops him down to 13. Home run, Dwight Evans. He actually led off the 86 season for the Red Sox against the Tigers on opening day with a home run, so kind of reminiscent of that. And Codaroli's got to shake that off as the Red Sox grab a 1-0 lead. All right, here is Wade Boggs. That's a 7, so this time we're under Codaroli. He gets to control the at-bat. We'll flip the random number. It's a 58. 58 says it's an out. So we go to Boggs. He's a left-handed hitter with normal power, and we check the out sequence for that. And in this case, it says all outs are ground out to first, but there is an asterisk. So that means it's a possible error on the first baseman, Bhakti. His error rating is an E2. So when we flip the next action card, if the error gives him a 2 range, then he's going to be making an error. If not, he'll make the play. And it says none, so he makes the play. And I'll call it 3-1 since we're checking an error. And he is out of there. So 1 away, Wade Boggs is retired, and that brings up Bill Buckner. Billy Buck. Hello, David Troppins. That's a new name. I don't think I've seen you before. If you have been in here before and I missed you, I apologize. But you were at that Tiger opener. Cool. So you know what I speak. Dwight Evans, home run. First, I don't know if it was the first pitch or the first at bat. I know it was first at bat. Don't know if it was the first pitch or not. It might have been the very first pitch that Jack Morris tossed up there, but not sure. All right. Bill Buckner leads off or comes up. Now it's a CD, but we ignore the CD because nobody's on base. So there's not going to be any clutch defense because no one's on base. All we do is simply ignore that flip and start over. We come over here to a 3. That means we're under Codaroli. And the random number is a 38. Codaroli 38 is a walk. He's going to walk Buckner. That's going to drop him another notch to a 12. And we put Mr. Buckner at first base. So Buckner's on with a walk. Codaroli not out of the woods yet. And that brings up the power hitting Jim Rice. Codaroli has to get control here. It's a 9. He does not. That goes to Jim Rice for control. See what Rice does. That's an 11. Now normally that would be a hit, but on the left-right splits, on the variable factors, an 11 on a righty versus a righty, that is a strikeout. So in this case, Jim Rice will strike out. And that's where the left-right can come in on certain results. And in this case, it did with an 11. That number being 11 took us to this chart for that factor. So Rice is out on strikes. Had he been facing a left-handed pitcher, he would have gotten an infield hit. But with the right-hander, well, I appreciate you dropping in. Thank you. Appreciate that. More the merrier. Like I said, I'm more comfortable recording and uploading, but the Saturday thing kind of took a life of its own, I guess, so just kind of morphed into that. So Rice is out of there, and that brings up Don Baylor. That's a 6, so we're under Coderoli. And that is a 32. Coderoli 32, 25 to 33 is a strikeout, so he gets the K on Don Baylor to end the inning. But the leadoff home run from Dwight Evans gives the Red Sox a 1-0 lead after 1. And like I said, for those who have not seen this game or haven't seen it in a long time, hopefully that gives you an idea how the game is played. I'll go a little bit, a little bit more normal speed now going forward. So we go to the top of the second, Bruce Bhakti against Mike Brown. Flip is an 8, so we go to Bhakti. That's a 57, and 57 is out in the out range. He's a left-handed normal hitter. So we check the out range for that. Left normal is a ground ball right back to Brown, but it is an asterisk, so we check for his error rating. However, Brown's an E0, so he cannot make an error. And there's one away. So easy play there. Bhakti is retired. And that's going to bring up Carney Lansford, third baseman. See what Brown can do. 5, so we're under Mike Brown this time. 43, Mike Brown 43 though, this is going to be a walk. 38 to 45 is a base on balls. So Carney Lansford will draw a 1-out walk. And he is aboard. Let's check his OBR rating. He's an OBR B, speed of C. So potentially you could try to steal. Don't know if you really want to do that or not. Like I said, Sullivan's a TB. Let's see here. Now, I think we're going to hold him there. You don't really like to steal too much at Fenway Park, but well, like I said, not ballpark effects in the game, but just mentally I'm thinking at Fenway Park you don't want to run yourself out of innings. All right, so Mike Davis is up with 1 out and a runner at first. The flip 5 is Mike Brown again. 15, that's a base hit. Base hit right there. 15, and if I remember correctly, any base hit off the pitcher card is an automatic 2-base advancement. So Lansford goes to third. Davis goes to first. Runners are at the corners. And I think I forgot to lower Mike Brown last time with that walk to Lansford, so I'll lower him again with the base hit there, so he's down to a 13. Runners are now at the corners with 1 out as Mike Davis got that big base hit. And that'll bring up Alfredo Griffin. The infield is playing double play depth. Alfredo Griffin, a switch hitter. That's an 11, so we're under Griffin. That's a 41. 41 is going to be an out range. Anything 36 or higher is going to be an out for him. He's a switch normal, so we'll see what happens for the defense. See if they can turn that double play. Switch normal. Switch normal is a pop-up to first. They don't have to. It's the infield fly rule. And that's out number 2 as Buckner puts it away. Keeps the A's off the scoreboard for at least for now. And now catcher Bill, I guess it's pronounced Bath. Bill Bath. I don't think it's Bathy, or Bath. I think it's Bath. I could be wrong. I don't know. Not really familiar with Bill Bath or whoever he is. He is a right-handed hitter against Mike Brown. 2 outs infield, normal depth. The flip is a 10, so we're under Bath, but he's got to get basically a 22 or less to do anything. Other than that, he's going to be out, I do believe. And we get a 44, which is an out. He's a right-handed power hitter. And that's going to be a pop out to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Brown pitches out of it, and the A's come away empty-handed. And they certainly missed an opportunity to tie the game or perhaps take the lead, but that's just how it turns out. And of course, if it turns out that people don't really like Status Pro on this, I could switch it to APA. That was what I was going to do originally, was APA on this, and then somehow I got the notion to do Status Pro, so that's what I went with. All right, so Chris Coderoli facing Marty Barrett. 10, we're under Barrett. 17 Barrett, that's a base hit. So Marty Barrett And anytime you get a base hit off the hitter card, you check for an error regardless of whether you see an asterisk or not. So Marty Barrett is on with the base hit, and we are going to check an error. The 17 says the hit went to center field, so we're checking the center fielder for an error chance. Center fielder Dwayne Murphy, he's an E1, so this has to be a 1 here on the next flip for it to be an error, and it is not. So it's no error on the play, but it is a leadoff single for Marty Barrett. And we'll drop Codaroli down to an 11. Marty Barrett as a runner is an OBR B, speed of C. But I think we're going to leave him there where he is. Here's Steve Lyons. He later gets traded to the White Sox, which is why he's carded with the White Sox. I believe he's part of the Tom Seaver deal. But he's right now playing for Boston. He is a left-handed normal hitter. Flip 4, we're under Codaroli. 77 is an out. Lyons is a left-handed normal. Infield is playing for a double play. Sometimes these cards stick together, make sure to get one. Left normal, though, he pops it up to the catcher, so that's a 1 out as Baith puts it away. 1 out, runner stays put. Lyons is retired. Brings up Ed Romero, the shortstop. Righty on righty matchup. 10, we're under Romero. 56 is an out. Anything 31 to 88 is an out. He's a right-handed normal hitter. Right normal says it's a liner to first, L3, so he lines it to first. 2 down. I don't believe there's anything about a double play. I will check it just to make sure on the out chart. L3, line out to first, runner holds. If first base is a CD2, the runner's doubled off. Okay, so Bruce Bhakti. Let's check his CD rating for Bruce Bhakti. Bruce Bhakti, where are you? Bruce Bhakti is a CD0, so it's not going to be a double play. It could have been. If it had been a CD2, clutch defense 2, that would have been a double play. Instead, it's just a liner to first, 2 down. And that brings up Mark Sullivan, catcher. 4, we're under Codaroli. 83 is definitely an out. He's a right-handed normal hitter. Right normal is a GX1 with an asterisk. So it goes back to the pitcher, which means we're checking for an error rating. He is an E10. And we do the flip, and it says none, so he gets by with it. And that's going to end the inning. So Codaroli pitches around a leadoff single. And at the end of 2 complete, it is still 1-0 favor of the Red Sox. See, the stack is it's pretty much even now, so after this next inning, we'll be flipping it and shuffling it and all that good stuff. So, forgot to move my pawns to tell you who's going to be coming up. Evans will lead off the bottom of the 3rd, but right now leading off the top of the 3rd is Tony Phillips against Mr. Mike Brown. That's a 2, so we're under Brown. He gets control. 23. It's not going to help him. That's a single to right field. It's off the pitcher card, so you don't need to check for an error. It would have been a 2-base advance for any other runners. But Tony Phillips is on with a leadoff single. And we'll see if he might think about trying to run. Phillips is an OBR A, so we're going to try to steal here with him being an OBR A and a speed of B. We're going to see about stealing. And very simple thing to do with stealing. You just flip the next card. You get a random number, check it off the chart that's in the upper left-hand corner. It's not on camera because I can't fit everything, but I will read it off to you. So we're all going to try steal, and the result is a 48. So if I look at the chart on a 48, it says runner out, stealing, catcher to second base. Doesn't matter who you are. So he is caught stealing. Tony Phillips is erased. Caught stealing for Tony Phillips. And since Murphy, a lefty, was at the plate, it means the shortstop was covering second. So it's going to go 2-6. As Mark Sullivan throws out Phillips for out number 1. And I believe I forgot to knock down Brown for that single last time up. So we'll do that and get that straight. Now here's Dwayne Murphy now with the bases clear. That's a clutch defense, but nobody's on base, so we skip it. 7 means we go to Murphy. 76, he's going to be out. Left normal is a ground ball to first with the asterisk, so we check Buckner potentially for an error. Buckner's error rating is an E5. So we'll see if there's anything that mentions an error. Whoops. It does not. So that'll be an out. Out number 2. 2 down for Buckner. He makes the play. And here's Jose Canseco. BD. Again, nobody's on base, so we skip it. 10, we go to Canseco. 22, that's gone. Jose Canseco on a 22. 21 through 26 is a home run. Canseco has just hit the home run to tie the game, and now that caught stealing cost them the lead, as they could have had a 2-1 lead. But Canseco goes deep. We knock down Brown, 1 for the hit, 1 for the run, and we are tied at a run apiece here in the top of the third. That's going to bring up King Kong Kingman with 2 outs, and the base is clear. 5, we're under Brown. 62 is an out. He's a right-handed power hitter. Right-handed power hitter pops to second, but it is an asterisk, so we check Barrett. Barrett is an E2, but there's no error there. And it's going to end the inning. But we are tied at 1, and there are errors on here. I mean, every card does not say none, but there are a few that have errors on them, so that we could find those. It's not like every card has no chance of an error, because there are chances for an error in case you were curious. All right. Dewey Evans steps to the plate. Hello, Midlife. I've been skipping the chat because I've been concentrating on the game so long. Sorry about that. Hello, Midlife Crisis. Anybody I missed, I apologize. Midlife Crisis, it's nice to see you again in here. Looks like you guys are chatting and having fun, which is cool. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this Statis Pro. Like I said, it's new for me. I haven't played Statis Pro on the channel in ages. So I thought I would pull it out because I bought this 86 set a long time ago and never had an excuse to use it. So now it's an excuse to use it. So here you go. All right, Dewey Evans steps up against Codaroli. That's a 7, so we're under Codaroli. And that's a 66, which means it's an out. Evans is a right-handed power hitter. He's going to pop it up to first. That's what everybody would do. So he pops it up to Bhakti. And there's 1 away. Evans is retired. Brings up Wade Boggs. Codaroli wants to stay on his own card, and he does with a 5. So we go to Codaroli. These cards can stick together. Codaroli is a 27, and that's a strikeout. So he's going to strike out Boggs. Strikeout on Boggs, 2 down. And that brings up Buckner, first baseman. Baith. Okay, Roger, thank you for that. I thought it was Baith. I was pretty sure it was Baith. Oop, that thing just flipped out of my hand. 11 is Buckner, so we're going to Buckner. 61, that's an out. He's a left normal. Left normal says he lines it to second, and that's going to end the inning. There was no asterisk to check for an error. So that's going to do it for the Sox here in the bottom of the third. After 3 complete, it's a 1-1 tie, and since we finished 3 innings, I'm going to take these cards, flip them over, and then we're going to shuffle. It's not going to be the icky shuffle, but it'll be a shuffle nevertheless. So we're going to shuffle them up here. They've already been flipped, so they're already on the other side. So hopefully that's a good enough for a flip and a shuffle. And we'll be ready to go here for the top of the 4th. And we end up with Bhakti leading things off. Rice will lead off for the Red Sox in the bottom half. And we're back to Mike Brown. All right, so Mike Brown facing Bhakti. We get a 7, so that's under Bhakti. That's a 34. Bhakti on a 34 will strike out. 28-37 is a strikeout, so Bhakti goes down on strikes. Bhakti out on strikes. Here's Carney Lansford, third baseman. Lansford walked his first time up and was stranded at third base. See what he does this time against Brown. 4, we're under Mike Brown. 83, that's definitely an out. We go to the out chart for a right normal. That's a ground ball to Buckner, but there is an asterisk. Again, Buckner is an E5. And that's a none, so he makes the play. 2 down. Lansford is retired. And both pitchers hanging in there pretty good for now. Here's Mike Davis. 8, we're under Davis. See, there is an error. They do have error chances that come up once in a while, so you got to keep an eye on them. But we're under Davis, and the flip is a 66. That's an out. He's a left-handed power hitter. Left-handed power hitter will line it to Buckner. There is an asterisk again, but it's got to be a 5 or less, and it's a none, so he makes the play to end the inning. So an easy 1-2-3 inning for Brown. And he's holding the A's at bay of the 1-1 score. And that's going to bring up Jim Rice to lead off the bottom half of the fourth. 9, so we're under Jim Rice. 71, though, is too high. It's going to be an out. He's a right-handed. Strange they call him a normal. I would think he'd be a power hitter, but maybe in 86 he didn't hit as many home runs. I don't know. It's just the way they have him rated. So we'll check right normal. It's a pop out to the catcher. And there's one away. So Rice is retired for Don Baylor. 2, so we're under Cotaroli. 87, that's an out. Now, if Baylor had been a left-handed hitter, that would have been a base hit on this variable lefty-righty chart. But since he's a righty, the 87 stays an out. What kind of an out? He's going to fly to center. So 2 down. So that's where, had he been a lefty, that he would have gotten a hit instead. So here's Marty Barrett with 2 down. 8 is under Barrett. 47 for Barrett is in the out range. He's a right-handed normal hitter. He's going to ground it to third. That's Lansford, but there is an asterisk, so we check Lansford. He's an E2. And it's an 8-10, but 2 is obviously less than that, so there's no error. Lansford makes the play to end the inning. So 4 innings are in the books, and we're tied at a run apiece. So despite the numbers on these pitchers, they're doing a little bit better than what I thought they would do. All right, top of the 5th, it is Mike Brown facing Griffin. BD, but the bases are clear, so we're not going to use that. 11, we go to Alfredo Griffin. See what he can do. 42 on Alfredo Griffin's card is an out. Anything 36 or higher is an out. And this is a base 8 game. I forgot to mention that all the numbers are 1 through 8. The ones that end are 1 through 8. There are no 9s, there's no 0s. So it's base, what they call a base 8 game. That's one thing I forgot to mention. So anyway, he's out. Alfredo Griffin is out. See what kind of an out. Switch hitter, normal power. It's a ground ball to Barrett at second. There is an asterisk, so we flip to make sure there's no error. There's not. And Marty Barrett makes the play. 1 down. Takes us to the number 9 hitter, Bill Baith. Brown to Baith. 4, we're under Mike Brown. 13, now righty-righty. 13 does not fall in that. Only 11 and 12 is the variable. So 13 is going to be a hit. So Baith will sneak that by for a base hit. Had it been 11 or 12, that would have changed. The hits would have changed to an out, but 13 does not do that. So Bill Baith with a single, and Brown will now drop to a 9 for his rating. Bill Baith is a slow runner. He will not go anywhere at all. And it's top of the order, Tony Phillips, the batter. Z, okay, we got to our first Z result, and that is the unusual play chart. So let me find the unusual plays. Here it is. Unusual plays could go to an injury chart. If we get a number of 45 to 78, we go to a fielding chart. 81 to 88, we go to an injury chart. Anything else, you take whatever's listed on here. And we get a random number and figure out what's going on. It's a 67. So a 67 says we're going to the fielding charts. The Z fielding charts. So the Z out chart, fielding plays, we're going to go here. We're looking right in this section here and find out what's going on. We're going to flip to get a new random number. We get in a 13. So a 13 says grounder to first. If the first baseman is a CD or CD2, CD1 or CD2, it's a double play. If first baseman is not a CD1 or CD2, batter is out at first unassisted with the runner advancing. So let's check the CD rating of Bill Buckner. His clutch defensive rating for Buckner is a 1. He is a CD1. So he's a clutch defender of 1. So this says, going back to this again, clutch defense of 1, it's a double play. So first to short, back to first, it's a 3-6-3 double play, and that's going to end the inning. So Bill Buckner with his clutch defense. He wasn't clutch defense against the Mets, unfortunately, for Red Sox fans. But in this case, he was. And we get a 3-6-3 double play to end the fifth, into the top of the fifth for the A's. And how about that? Bhakti. That was actually Phillips who hit that hit. Bhakti not happy with himself for hitting into that double play. So we go to the bottom of the fifth. Steve Lyons, center fielder, will lead things off for the Red Sox against Codaroli. Wow, Roger, 5 home runs and 19 hits. That's why he's listed as a right-handed power hitter, I guess. There you go. So here we go. Steve Lyons against Codaroli. 8 is Lyons. 78, that's going to be an out. He's a left normal. Left normal says he grounds it back to Codaroli. There is an asterisk. He is an E10. Make sure Codaroli does not make an error. He does not. So Codaroli makes the play, and Lyons is retired, out number 1. For Ed Romero, Romero line to Bhakti his first time up. 8, we're under Romero. 33 for Romero, but it's going to be in the out range. For better hitters, that would have been a hit, but for him, 31 or higher is an out. So right normal. Right normal says liner to short. That's to Alfredo Griffin, but there is an asterisk. He's an E3. Make sure there's no error. There is not, so he makes the catch. 2 down. And in all honesty, I'm not as comfortable doing a video of Statis Pro as I am with the other games, so if it looks a little shaky or feels a little shaky, it probably is. All right, Mark Sullivan, the batter, with 2 outs and the base is clear. We get a 6, which is under Codaroli. 14, though, it's a base hit. So it's a base hit by Mark Sullivan as he gets the hit off the pitcher card. Mark Sullivan, a 2-out single, will knock Codaroli down to a 10. Sullivan will not dare go anywhere. So we flip the order back to the top of the order, Dwight Evans. See what he can do. A 4, so we're under Codaroli. 35, and that's a walk. Codaroli has walked Evans, so that puts 2 runners on base, and we will knock him down to a 9. So Red Sox have runners at first and second with 2 outs. So after the first 2 were retired fairly easily, Codaroli running into a little bit of trouble, and now he's got to deal with the dangerous Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs. I agree, Captain Carl. It is a great game to play where you don't want you can play and not disturb anybody because there's no sound. Definitely agree with that. Here's Wade Boggs. Codaroli, a 9, so we're under Boggs. Boggs could put the Red Sox in the lead, but it's a 74, so it's in the out range. Left normal. Ground ball to short. Griffin, though, there is an asterisk. Griffin is an E3. Is there going to be an error? There is not. So Griffin makes the play, and the inning is over. So the Red Sox threaten, but come away empty-handed. We go to the top of the 6th. Still 1-1. I thought there'd be more runs than this, but just the way it works out, I guess. I agree, David. You can. It's, I believe Al Wilson, when he did a tutorial, whatever you want to call it, on this game, talked about getting in a rhythm, flipping the fast action cards, and you definitely can. And if you play it enough, you kind of memorize what the results are a lot of times, base running results and so forth. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. So here is Dwayne Murphy against Brown. 3 is under Brown. 18, though, it's going to be a base hit. So got the hit off the pitcher card. Dwayne Murphy, leadoff single. And again, had runners been on base, that would have been an automatic 2-base advancement since it came off the pitcher card. But with nobody on, there's no worries there. Now Murphy, let's see, he runs at OBR as a B. But we had a caught stealing already. Do we want to try it again? You got Canseco coming up, so I think they're going to hold him right where he is and give Canseco a chance. 10, so we're under Canseco. 23, and he's done it again. Jose Canseco, his second home run of the game, a 23, fits right in here, the 21 to 26. It's a two-run bomb. Two-run bomb for Canseco. And so we're going to drop Brown 1 for the hit and 2 for runs. Drops him down to a 5. A 2-run homer for Canseco. So the young Canseco, second home run of the game. He's got all 3 RBI. And the A's now grab a 3-1 lead. And Mike Brown's a little stunned. And McNamara may be going to his bullpen shortly. Let's bring back the bullpen so you can see who's available in case you came in late. These are the pitchers that are available for both teams. So, got to figure Red Sox might start to get some activity down. In fact, Steve Crawford is loosening for the Sox in the pen, just in case they want to make that move. Here's Bruce Bhakti. These cards do stick together when they're not used for a while. Clutch defense, but the bases are empty, so no need there. 9, we're under Bhakti. Bhakti, 86. 86 is going to be an out. You have to have an 87 or an 88 to use that lefty-righty split factor. So 86 falls in the out category. Left normal. Pops it up to first. 1 away. So 1 down. That brings up Carney Lansford. 12, we're under Lansford. 38 for Lansford. It's going to be just in the out range. He's a right normal. It's going to ground it to Barrett, but there is an asterisk. Barrett is an E2. No error there, so it's the second out of the inning. As Barrett puts it away and flips over to Buckner for out number 2. That brings up Mike Davis. A 9, so we're under Davis. 16, that's a base hit. And since it's off the batter card, we do need to check for an error. 16 says it went to right field. We're checking Evans. Evans' error rating is an E2. There is no error. So it's a base hit for Mike Davis. We drop down Brown to a 4. And now it could really be in trouble. Red Sox trying to get him through the inning if possible. Davis now at first with 2 down. And the switch hitting. Did I bat somebody out of turn? Something on my score sheet doesn't look right. These may have stuck together. It might have should have been Carney Lansford's at bat. I think it should have been Carney Lansford's at bat. So let's check this again. The result was a 16. So it was a base hit to left. We're checking Rice, but again, Rice had no error. Okay, now we're good. It was actually Carney Lansford, not Mike Davis. My bad. Mike Davis is coming up to bat now. These cards can stick together. These old cards can do that. Again, I've already took him down to a 4. So now Mike Davis is at the plate. And you know what? With the lefty coming up, they're going to make the move. Mike Brown is going to be lifted. Red Sox are going to make the move to a lefty. And it's actually going to be Joe Sambito. So Sambito has a relief rating of 10. So we're going to reset him as a 10. And we're going to mark off our pitcher bullpen set. We're going to mark off Sambito. Crawford is sat down, so he's not going to keep throwing. But with 2 outs and a lefty coming up, they really want to make sure that they don't give away another cheap out or cheap run. So Mike Davis is on there. Lansford is on first. His OBR is a B, but I think they're going to hold him there. And if I make an error on this, on the gameplay, somebody please point it out so I can know what I'm doing. I think I know what I'm doing, but there's always a chance that I'll screw something up. In fact, it's probably a good chance I'll screw something up. Sambito is a PB26. So let's see what he does here on a PB26. That's a 4, so we're under Sambito. Result is a 64. That is an out. Mike Davis is a left-handed power hitter. Left-handed power hitter is a fly ball to left field. There's no asterisk to worry about, so that's going to end the inning as Rice puts it away. but a 2-run homer from Jose Canseco. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is now 3-1 A's, and Chris Calderoli looking pretty good. So Bill Buckner will lead things off as the Red Sox try to chip away at that lead. 3, we're under Calderoli. 74 is going to be an out. It's a ground ball to second. There is an asterisk, so we're checking Tony Phillips. He's an E2. No error, so there's 1 away. Buckner is retired. Brings up Jim Rice. 3, so we're under Calderoli. 53, it's an out. He's a right normal. And that's a ground ball to short with an asterisk, so we're checking Griffin. Griffin is an E3, but no error, so that's out number 2. And it brings us to Don Baylor. Don Baylor. 8, we're under Baylor. 53, almost a hit by pitch, but not quite. 52 or higher is an out. So he's a right-handed power hitter, and he will fly to left to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Sox there. They come away empty-handed. We've completed 6 innings of play, and it's 3-1 in favor of the A's. Sambito will stay in there to face Griffin, Baith, and Phillips to start the top of the 7th. And since we're at finished 6 innings, we're going to flip the cards over and do the Icky Shuffle again. So it's time to shuffle once again for these last 3 innings. All right, Alfredo Griffin, switch hitter, will now turn around bat right-handed against Sambito. That's a 7, so we're under Griffin. It's a 62, though. He's going to be out. As a switch hitter, he flies to center for 1 away. Put away out there by Steve Lyons. 1 down, and that brings up Bill Baith. Sambito, 8, we're under Baith. And you can see here on the error thing, 1 to 10, that would have been an error for almost pretty much everybody, but that's a rare time that happens. So we go to Baith. 41 for Baith. He is hit by the pitch. That's his one number to be hit by the pitch is a 41, and we found it. So Bill Baith is going to be hit by a pitch. Sambito is going to drop 1. And Baith will take over as runner on first base. He's reached base 2 out of 3 times now, a single and a hit by pitch. So we go to the top of the order for Tony Phillips. See what happens here. Sambito a 2 through 6, 5, so we're under Sambito. 52, that's an out. He's a switch normal. It's a ground ball in front of the plate with an asterisk. We're checking the error on Sullivan. He's an E1. There's no error, but now we need to check and see if there's a double play. And it could come down to Phillips being fast, preventing a double play. We shall see. It is a G2 with the runner, whoops, where are my charts? With a runner on first base. So a G2, runner on first, a G2 says double play grounder, catcher to shortstop to first. OBR A or B is safe at first. OBR A or B batter, safe at first. He's an OBR A, so he will not be a double play. Instead, it will be a fielder's choice. Tony Phillips' speed prevented the double play. So Phillips is aboard on the fielder's choice. The out's going to go 2 to 6. I'm sorry, 2 to 4, because Phillips was batting right-handed. He is an OBR A, so we're going to try to steal. We're going to try to steal this time. He got caught back in the 3rd inning, but he's going to try it again. OBR of A, particularly now there are 2 outs. So OBR of A, draw a random number, 27. 27 says any runner rated SP A or B steals. Well, he is an SP of B, so that qualifies, and Tony Phillips will steal second base. That gets him into scoring position with 2 down. For Dwayne Murphy, lefty on lefty matchup again. Sambito, 8, so we're under Murphy. 25, and that is a 2-run homer for Dwayne Murphy. 24 to 25 is a home run, so Dwayne Murphy just cracked a 2-run homer Zambito gets 1 reduction there and then 2 for the runs. The A's now lead it 5-1 as they are playing long ball left and right. As Davis hits a 2-out home run, and Zambito was obviously not the answer. He is going to be lifted for a new pitcher, and the new pitcher is going to be Crawford. So Crawford will come in and face Canseco. Zambito is done. He did not get the production out of Zambito they wanted. Crawford is on. His relief rating for fatigue is a 9. And he'll be facing Canseco with the bases clear and 2 down here in the top of the 7th. 5-1 A's. 5 were under Crawford. 13, but that's going to be a base hit. 13's a single to left. So Canseco, a 2-out single to go with his 2 home runs. He's 3 for 4. He's an OBRB, so they're not going to try to steal. 10, we're under Kingman. 47, just out. The first number is out range. Right-handed power hitter. Grounds to the catcher, rather. It's a GX2. GX2 is usually a fielder's choice of the runner on first, but with 2 outs, that's kind of a weird play to make. But that's what they call it. So we're going to write it down that way. 2-6, or 2-4, rather. Fielder's choice to end the inning. But 2 more runs come in thanks to the 2-run homer from Mike Davis against the lefty. I'm sorry, Dwayne Murphy against the lefty. And we go to the 7th inning stretch with the score. Oakland 5, Boston 1. I'm going to stand up and stretch for a minute as well, just to kind of get my bearings here and get ready for the rest of the festivities. You could sing your Take Me Out to the Ball Games or your Sweet Caroline since we're in Fenway. Sweet Caroline, I guess, was the song of choice in 7th inning stretch activity. All right, we are ready to go. Bottom of the 7th, Marty Barrett will lead things off against Codaroli, who's been rolling through 6 innings. He gave up the first inning run, that home run to Evans to lead off the game, but he shut down the Red Sox since. 8, so we're under Barrett. 75, though, he's going to be out. It's going to be a ground ball to third to Lansford, but there is an asterisk. Check Lansford for an error. Lansford's an E2. There is no error there, so there's 1 away. Lansford retires Barrett on the out. That brings up Steve Lyons. 7, we're under Codaroli. 42 for Codaroli is a wild pitch, but with nobody on base, we just consider that a foul ball, and we'll redo the whole at bat. We'll check for control again. This time, Lyons gets control on this at bat. 43, and he walks. So Steve Lyons fought off a tough pitch and ends up getting control and gets the walk. We reduce Codaroli by 1. Drop him to an 8. Lyons definitely not thinking about running anywhere. And here's Romero. Now do you start using your bench maybe to try to get some hitters? Romero, not necessarily the best hitter in the world. 7th inning, this might be the only time he gets to come up to pinch hit for him. So they're going to do that. They're going to go to the bench. They're going to bring in Tony Armas. So Tony Armas will pinch hit, and they'll bring in Hoffman to play short after that. So Tony Armas will pinch hit, and Hoffman will be the new shortstop going forward. So Tony Armas to pinch hit for the Red Sox, as they're looking for a little bit of thump if they can get it. Pinch hitting here in the 7th. Tony Armas down 5-1. You got to try to do something, and McNamara is trying to pull some strings. So Tony Armas against Codaroli. It's a 5, though, so we're under Codaroli. 16, though, is a base hit, and it came off the pitcher card, so automatic 2-base advancement. And Tony Armas despite not being off his own card, he benefits and gets a base hit, puts runners on the corners with only one out. Now, Armas runs as a D, so I think they might go ahead and put Hoffman in as the runner. He runs at a D anyway, so you might as well take Hoffman and let him be the runner because he's going to be the new shortstop anyway. So Hoffman's actually on base as the runner. Brings up Mark Sullivan. He's going to be called back, and Rich Gedman will be coming on and will reduce Cotaroli by 1 via that hit. And now Rich Gedman will pinch hit, and he will stay in the game to catch, obviously. So Gedman will be taking over. So we're going to have Gedman here and Hoffman here. So again, McNamara trying to pull all the stops out here in this 7th and try to make a move to get himself back in the game. With 1 out, the A's are going to play double play depth. If a run scores, it scores on the ground out. They need outs. And I see that the postseason in Robert's 1979 Inside Pitch League begins on Monday night. Tonight, he's got the Phillies and the Expos, a good matchup. Carlton against Rogers. That's, talk about aces. Those are 2 aces right there. So check out that channel tonight at 8 o'clock or thereabouts for the Expos and the Phillies. All right, so Rich Gedman pinch hitting against Cotaroli. Cotaroli's going to stay out there. They do have 1 lefty in the pen, Kruger, but they're going to stick with Cotaroli for now. It's been pitching so well. 6 were under Cotaroli. 84, that's going to be an out. He's a left-handed power hitter. Left-handed power hitter is a fly ball deep to right field. That should be a sacrifice fly, but we'll check the charts just to verify. And we go to the out chart with men on first and third. Men on first and third. And FD9 says fly out to deep right field. Runner on third scores. Others hold. OBR of A, B, C, or D on first base moves to second base. So, wow. Pretty much everybody's going to move to second base. Hoffman's a D, but he still make it to second base. Lions will score on the sacrifice fly by Rich Gedman. And it puts the Red Sox on the board again to cut the lead to 5-2. As Lions will score and Hoffman will take second base. So since the run scored, we drop Cotaroli by 1. Rich Gedman did his job, or at least partially his job. And now Dewey Evans is up. 1 swing of the bat can get the Red Sox right back in the game, but there are 2 outs, so no room for error. Cotaroli's going to stay out there. 9 were under Evans. 74, that's an out. Right-handed power hitter. It's a ground ball back to Cotaroli. There is an error check, but there's none, so Cotaroli makes the play to end the inning. And that's going to do it for the Red Sox in the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. It is now 5-2. And that might be all for Cotaroli. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, the bullpen is not really all that great. I guess Atherton was their closer. They don't have a whole lot, so they might try to eke another inning out of Cotaroli if possible. Crawford's going to stay in, obviously. He only faced 2 batters. So, well, I'd say obviously, but Oakland's got 2 out of 3 lefties coming up. So, do you go to Lawler? That's the question. Tim Lawler is only a 2.5 PB rating, so I think you want to stick with Crawford because he has more control of the at-bats, doing it that way. So here is Bhakti facing Crawford. That's a Z, so we got an unusual result once again. So flip the random number. We get an 83. Unusual, can't even speak. Unusual result. 83 is an injury. 81 to 88, we check an injury. That's an 83. So we're checking the injury chart. And we'll see what happens on the random number. 71. Second baseman is hit by a liner. Use injury factor. He does make the catch. But we're going to check and see if there's going to be an injury where he has to leave. So we'll check the injury rating on Marty Barrett. We'll get his card out. Marty Barrett, his injury rating is a 1. So we're going to check the result on the injury chart for a 1. 1 says remainder of this game and next game only. So he's going to have to come out. So Marty Barrett is going to be injured, and Stapleton will have to come in and play second base for Marty Barrett. So Barrett is injured on the play, and Stapleton will take over at second base. That only leaves the backup catcher, Dave Sachs. That's the only bench player remaining for the Red Sox. So Barrett has to leave. Stapleton is on. He is an E0, so that does help him defensively. Obviously not as good. Well, yeah, obviously not as good offensively, and you can't pinch hit for him because you got no other second baseman anymore. So that could come back to bite him. So we'll see how that plays out. But the catch was made, so that was the big thing, is the catch was made on the liner. So Bhakti is out of there. Here's Carney Lansford with 1 out. 7, so we're under Crawford. 45 is the first number in his out range. 45 is an out. Ground ball to third, that's Boggs. His error rating is a 5, E5. No error there, so he makes the play. 2 down. And that's going to send us to Mike Davis, who had a big 2-run homer his last time up. Crawford, it's a 4, so we're under Crawford. Won't be any home run this time. 73 is out. He's a left-handed power hitter, and he flies to left to end the inning. So that's going to do it for the A's here in the 8th. They come away with nothing, but they maintain a 5-2 lead. And now the question is, do you stick with Cotaroli if you're the A's, or do you bring in a relief pitcher? Let's see who's in the bullpen that's any good. Could go to Mooneyham, or he could go to Ontiveros. They're both two 6s, as is Atherton. They're actually going to go to Steve Ontiveros out of the bullpen. His relief fatigue factor is a 10, so we'll reset him there for a 10, and we'll cross out Ontiveros. So they have Atherton, Mooneyham, and Kruger left on the bullpen, or in the bullpen. And it will be Wade Boggs to lead things off, followed by Buckner and Rice. So I guess I should have gone to lefty, shouldn't I? That would have made more sense. Let me check Kruger. He's only a 2.5 though, so. But you know what? We got to play percentages. So when the manager is managing, he's not knowing the guy's a 2.5. So we're going to do Kruger instead of Ontiveros. Ontiveros is still going to be available. We're going to do Kruger. His relief rating is a 12. So I mistakenly thought Evans was going to lead off. I didn't realize it was Boggs. It is Boggs, Buckner, and Rice. So we're going to do Kruger. He may just face the 2 lefties, and then we'll go straight to Ontiveros after that. We shall see. See how it plays out. Boggs is the leadoff hitter. Kruger is only a 2.5 though. That's a 3 though, so we're under Kruger. And that's a 54, which is an out. Boggs grounds to first. There is an error check on Bhakti, who is an E2, but there is no error, so 1 away. And Kruger gets out Boggs. 1 down for Buckner. 8, so we're under Buckner. 84, that's an out. Left normal. We'll pop it up to the catcher. Bill Bates makes the catch. 2 down. And with 2 outs and bases empty, they're going to keep him in there till he gets into trouble. If he gives up a hit, they'll probably take him out. 10, we're under Rice. 56, though, is an out. And Rice grounds to, or actually it's a right normal. He lines it to first to end the inning. So Kruger pitches his 1 inning very, very well. He gets it done, keeps it a 5-2 game. We'll see if Crawford stays in the game or not. I think he will, because he doesn't have anything near his fatigue level. What I'll do now, since we're getting close to the end of the game, I'll go ahead and, instead of waiting till the end and extra innings or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle and flip them now to give extra randomness for this 9th inning. That's right, Robert. Steve Onivero, switch hitting third baseman for the third baseman rather for the Cubs in the 70s. I think he played for the Giants as well earlier in his career. I think in the early 70s he was with the Giants and mid to late 70s was with the Cubs. Not sure about anywhere else. All right. Switch hitter, Alfredo Griffin will lead off with Griffin, Bath, and Phillips for the A's. That's a 3, so we're under Crawford. That's a 53, which isn't out. He's switch normal. Switch normal is a pop-up right to the pitcher. How about that? He pops it up right to Mr. Crawford for 1 away. Griffin is retired for Bill Bath. 4, we're under Crawford. 45, that's the first number in his out range. Right-handed power hitter will fly to center field. So put away out there by the Lions. 2 down here in the 9th. And that's going to send us to the top of the order for Tony Phillips. Phillips, BD, but nobody's on base, so we skip it. 6, we're under Crawford. 77 is an out, switch normal. He grounds it to Crawford. His error rating is an E8. And that's a 2 to 10, so it will be an error. First error of the game. Crawford commits it. He boots it at E1. So that 2 to 10 got him on that one. So Phillips will get a free base. Should have been the end of the inning, but wasn't the case. And now here's Dwayne Murphy coming up. And they're going to make the move to the bullpen and go with Tim Lawler. Lefty on lefty matchup. Even though he's a PB of 2.5, as was mentioned in the chat, you get that lefty-lefty matchup. You get extra outs on the 11 through 15 range. So they're going with Tim Lawler. They're going to play the percentages. They were hoping that they could get through the rest of the game without having to use the bullpen one more time, but we will against the lefty Murphy. However, Murphy did homer off the lefty Sambito, so maybe this will backfire. We shall see. See what happens. Oh, I missed what was going on there with Cody Travis. Thank you, Robert, for if there was something bad there. I don't know. I didn't see it, so I was too busy playing the game to see it. But I appreciate you for, if he said something, if there was something offensive or whatever, I appreciate you taking care of that so that nobody had to see that. So here we go. Lefty on lefty, Lawler. It's a 3, so we're under Lawler. 41, though, is going to be a walk, so Lawler walks him. So maybe that was shaky to bring him in. I don't know. But Lawler gives up a walk. And with Canseco coming up, they're going to take Lawler out and go to Bob Stanley. So they've used all their bullpen guys. So Stanley will come on. Lawler only pitched to 1 batter. This is 1986. You can do that. Can't do it now, but you can do it. You can do it then. So Stanley, relief rating of 10. So runners at first and second with 2 down. Two down. And Stanley, the pitcher rather. 4, so we're under Stanley. 52, that's an out. Canseco, right-handed power hitter. Ground ball to short. There is an asterisk. We'll check for an error. There is no error, and the inning is over. So the A's threaten in the 9th, but don't add to their lead. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Red Sox. They trail it 5-2. And coming up for the A's, they will bring in a relief pitcher for Kruger as their right-handers are coming up. So they will go to their closer, Keith Atherton, who I think was their closer. Keith Atherton. And his relief rating is a 10. Last chance for the Red Sox. And they got kind of depleted because if they get lowered, they're going to have Stapleton and Hoffman. They can't pinch hit for him if it gets to that. So, but they got to get there first. First, it's going to be Rice, followed by Baylor. Actually, Baylor is the leadoff man. Rice made the out last inning to end the inning. So it's going to be Baylor, Stapleton, Baylor, Stapleton, and Lyons due up 1, 2, 3, or the first three hitters. Baylor, Stapleton, and Lyons. And you can't pinch hit for Stapleton because you got nobody else left on the bench. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. They were going for it in the seventh inning. It did produce a run, but not what they wanted. So Atherton, 12, we're under Baylor. 48, Baylor hit by pitch. Nothing new there. He is Mr. Hit by Pitch. What, did you think there'd be a 1, 2, 3 last inning in this game of the week? As Robert would say, I think not. So Baylor reaches on the hit by pitch. We reduce Atherton by 1. But now, of course, you've got a couple of the not so good hitters coming up. Stapleton. And Baylor, of course, will not run anywhere, down 5-2. Atherton, 7. We're under Stapleton. Probably was better to have been off Atherton, but we're under Stapleton because he's got to have a 11, 12, 13, or 14 to get a hit. It's the only chance he's got. 66 is definitely an out. Right normal is a ground ball to third, and this might be a double play. It's a star there, or asterisk there, so third baseman Lansford is an E2. We'll check for an error first. There is no error, so now we go to our chart, and a G5 might very well be a double play. Let's look at the out chart. Runner on first. G5, double play grounder, third to second. OBR-A is safe at first. Stapleton's an OBR-D, so he will definitely get doubled up. And just like that, there are 2 quick outs. 5-4-3 around the horn, double play. Talk about a rally killer right there. You got it. Rally killing right there. And here's Steve Lyons, last chance for the Red Sox against Atherton. 4, we're under Atherton. 73, that's an out. That's going to be the ball game. Left-handed normal is a fly to deep right field, but it's caught out there by Mike Davis, and the ball game is over. So there you have it. The A's behind 2 home runs from Jose Canseco and a home run from Dwayne Murphy do it to the Red Sox by the score of 5-2. Winning pitcher was Chris Cotaroli. The losing pitcher was Mike Brown, and the save goes to Keith Atherton. So there's my first attempt at the game of the week on Statis Pro. Yeah, it was an interesting experience, David. It's like I said, it's my first go at it. So hopefully I didn't screw anything up. Hopefully I didn't make any rules mistakes. I was trying to keep everything as entertaining as possible. And as Robert says, it's a visual medium. So I wanted to try to give the base runners, the little base running guys and the lineups and the bullpen so you can know what was going on at all times. I know a lot of people prefer dice over fast action cards. John, you're very much welcome on that. I probably could have gone a little bit slower in the bottom of the first as well, but like I said, I do believe there are a couple of how-to videos out there on Statis Pro. Like I said, didn't really involve the left-rights too much. Although there were a couple of times that the variable factor did come in. So it comes in when you least expect it, so you can't just carte blanche and not worry about left-rights. You're not going to get that as much as you would, say, in Stratomatic or something, but actually, I thought it was a pretty fun game. Now, I haven't played in a while, so kind of nice to come back out with that. Thank you, Mr. Replay Gamer. I enjoyed the game as well. I enjoyed having all you guys here to accompany me on my little journey. And we are going next week full circle, and it kind of ties in a little bit with the Replay Gamer's last video he did, talking about coming full circle, or about trying to think full circle in his journey. I'm not sure how he titled it, but just talking about starting out and kind of rounding out and coming back to Stratomatic as his game of choice. Yeah, you could do two 8-sided, and I thought about playing this thing with two 8-sided die and maybe a, using the two 8-sided die for the random numbers and the regular D6s for the PB numbers. You could do something like that. I haven't really tried it. Haven't played enough to experiment too much with it. Kind of kept it basic as possible, but I thought it was pretty fun. I got these cards off eBay some time ago, so I don't even. It was a long time ago, back when I was first playing Statis Pro. So you can get the PDFs on Statis Pro now, I think for like $10. I have gotten some of the newer sets that are in super advanced, not super advanced, but they're in a more advanced stage. I'll show one of those cards I got a couple of years ago for 1977. They do look a little bit on the busy side, but I guess if you're more accustomed to it, you can take advantage of it. Let's look at, say, Dave Parker. Look at his 1977 card. You can see that his at-bats are split between left-handed, as a left-handed hitter and a right-hander. So versus left-handed pitching, you would go to this column. Versus right-handed pitching, you go to this column. And it kind of gives you some splits as to how well he does versus the different sides. So Parker, in this case, not exactly. I mean, he's kind of halfway in between there. Let me find somebody that's got a differential in his averages to show you what that would do. The lefty-righty. Look at Wilbur Stargell. Look at Willie Stargell. So if you didn't have the splits, he would hit the same off everybody. But against lefties, he only hit 204. Against righties, he hit 299. Again, limited at bats, but still, this shows you that you can see the hits. Definitely more outs in the lefty side versus the righty side. So that's something you can order off of eBay, I believe. So anyway, that's just some things that you can get. Let's see. I had some other stuff here, but I don't think I have it handy to get to the Statis Pro that I had for a different season that had logos on it and all that stuff that I bought off eBay, but I don't have it in front of me to look at the moment, I don't think. Double check and make sure it's not in here. No, it's payoff pitch. I had payoff pitch there, so. No, I don't know where they are now. I wasn't really prepared to go through all of that rigmarole, so that's why I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, midlife, I'm definitely leaning more towards Strat. Yeah, Robert, I've got to look into it. I don't know anything about setting the subscriber setting. I think I've seen on yours where you can set it to be like you have to subscribe for so many days or something. Like I said, the whole live stream thing is certainly new to me. I'm glad you were there to put the kibosh on whatever was going on. So I do appreciate that. Like I said, I'm much more comfortable doing the record and upload. So, and I actually have recorded already this morning the second game in the 2015 Stratomatic Demolition League. And that was a game played between Tampa Bay and Cleveland. So I will be uploading that probably on, I want to say probably on Tuesday that I'll be uploading that. And then later in the week, I'm going to record another game right after this one. It'll be the Giants and the Reds from San Francisco. And I'll probably upload that on Thursday. And then come next Saturday, we're back to Inside Pitch. It'll be the Padres and the Cubs from Wrigley Field, Lamar Hoyt versus Dennis Eckersley. So I do appreciate all you guys that came in and spent part of your Saturday with me. Maiden voyage of Statis Pro on the channel as far as the game of the week. I was going to do this on APA as my fourth game engine, but then I changed and did Statis Pro instead. Don't know if that's a good change or a bad change, but that's what I did. But next week we will be right back. We'll be right back with inside pitch and start the circle again. Inside pitch, payoff pitch, Stratomatic, and Statis Pro. That's the rotation. We've had 4 weeks. We went through all 4 game engines. Now we're going to start back again in week 5 with inside pitch. So thank you to everybody who came in and participated and made this a fun experience for me. Be sure to check out Robert RJL Network tonight for 1979 inside pitch action. Expos in Philly, Steve Rogers and Carlton. And then next week he'll start his playoffs. And also be sure, if you haven't done so, to check out the Replay Gamer. He's got some good videos out, not only in gameplay with his 1947 Stratomatic, but also his little video tabletop talks, I believe he calls it, where he just kind of chats and talks about the hobby and his thoughts and whatnot. Be sure to check those out. Those are fun to watch. So, I need to get going and record this other game between the Giants and the Reds so I can have that ready for Thursday. Like I said, Tuesday will be the Rays and the Cleveland Indians Stratomatic Demolition League. So, hope you all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.